Subatomic Workshop. Today I'm casting resin into the molds I made in a previous video. Click the top right to see that. I started out by prepping the molds, which included removing the flashing around the edges where I'd pour into, checking for air bubbles, voids, etc., and checking for flashing inside the mold as well. On this mold, I cleaned up the edges using an X-Acto blade and some scissors. And this mold didn't need too much work, just a little trimming was all it took. On the hamburger mold here, I had some flashing around the edge, and after removing that, I ended up finding a little air bubble on the ridge that you can see right here. Also, I found some flashing inside that I just removed with the X-Acto blade as well. And here's the resin I'm using. It's the same brand as the mold rubber I use, and I also got it from Michael's with a coupon. It's a 1-to-1 mix ratio, so I just measured out equal parts, mixed them together, and poured. The resin can harden quickly, so make sure you have your molds ready. The packaging also said that for small parts to heat the molds in the microwave for about a minute, which I did to make sure that the resin heats up enough to cure. And I did it on the first couple, and then the rest I left at room temperature. They both cured fine, but the warm ones did finish sooner. And here's another shot where I didn't screw up filming and got the pour and the hardening. It's a pretty cool thing to see the chemical reaction where it goes from clear to white and starts to harden. And here I'm just finishing up filling the rest of the molds, and I ended up making it too much right here, so I topped off the previous castings as they were still fresh. They bonded together no problem with no visible lines. Also, as I was pouring, it hardened mid-pour. I'll show that later in the video, so that's pretty cool. And here they are, perfect replicas of the original, just a different color material. It's really satisfying to make an exact copy of something, and the level of detail is pretty amazing with this stuff. I'm hoping to make a lot more castings. It was just a really fun and accurate way of making multiple copies. All the castings popped right out other than these nuts here. They have that threaded inner part, but just a little wiggling, and they came out pretty easily as well. And here's the key that I made. There was a bit of flashing that I was able to just pull off, and then I used the utility knife to clean it up a bit. The resin is super easy to carve, and the box says it can be sanded, drilled, painted, milled, etc., making it even more versatile. And here's the resin that cured while I was pouring. It gave me an idea of trying to make a mold of falling water, which I thought would be kind of cool. But that, along with this other cup, was the waste on my resin. It's quite a bit, but it was my first time and it can harden pretty quickly, so now I know. And this mold had the styrofoam in it, and I can't remember if I mentioned it in my other videos, but I ran out of mold rubber while pouring this one, and there was only a thin layer of rubber at the bottom. So when removing the casting, it ripped. So since it had destroyed the mold, I decided to do a little experimenting with it. First I wanted to see if I could tape it shut. That doesn't work. Even though that duct tape is super sticky, it wouldn't even attempt to stick to the mold. So next I tried super glue. I let it dry and it kind of sticks, but it was very flaky and seemed like it wouldn't hold if I put any resin in it. So I tried 5-minute epoxy, but I made too much, so decided just to see if I could mold with the epoxy instead of the resin. Didn't really work, as the epoxy does stick to the rubber at least slightly, so it ended up destroying it further. If I had more mold rubber, I would have made another batch of that to see if I could repair it, but oh well, there's always next time. And in some of these shots here, you can see that there are little bits of the rubber stuck in the epoxy. it also stuck to the super glue. So I'm not sure which one exactly stuck, but there was definitely pieces in the epoxy. So in closing, mold making and casting is really fun and rewarding endeavor, especially if you have multiples of the same thing to make. I encourage everyone to give it a try. I know I'll be using it more in the future. And if this video was helpful or informative, please give it a like or consider subscribing. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them, as I'm always trying to learn. Thanks for watching.